What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about ear protection, decibels, noise reduction ratings, and all that stuff, because it is definitely not all made the same. And as a doctor told me a long time ago, you have one body and you need to take care of it. Now, whether you're a construction worker, a landscaper, doing anything out there with a high noise rating at a concert, you work venues or events, or out there on the range, you need to protect your ears. And you need to understand how the decibels and that noise reduction rating we're going to talk about actually works. Well, today we're going to be talking about the Axil brand of ear pros, specifically the inner ear style like that, which is what a lot of people are going to because it's just so much more comfortable out there, and the traditional over ear style, which is still definitely a solid choice depending on what you are looking for. Now, talking about the other types of ear pro that I've tried, of course, the Impact Sports, very popular. I've worn those for a long time. The Pelters, the 3M stuff, and then of course, what a lot of us are used to are those stupid little foamies like that. They do work, but they're just definitely not the best option out there, depending on the circumstance. And for my military guys, you kind of feel me on those garbage old ear inserts that like a lot of people got hearing damage wearing. Now, generally as technology gets better, especially in the case of these, you get nice inner ear inserts instead of those like massive ear muffs that like you used to see 5, 10, 15 years ago, where you had to be like one of the pet boys to wear them because they stuck out like that far and they were just horrible to maneuver around in or wear a helmet in. They just sucked. So it's like computers. You know, you don't stand in a room that is the computer anymore. We have these nice, cool computers like that thing sitting behind me that are small and extremely powerful. That's the same thing that ear protection has gone through. Let's go ahead and get a good up close look at these, talk about the options, and then we're going to go over the formula that actually is the noise reduction rating, because you need to pay attention to that, and also talk about if doubling up inner ear and over ear makes a difference, how much of a difference, and why that actually is. Now, if this is your first time here, go ahead and get subbed up, get belled up, turn those notifications on, and you have to hit all notifications to make sure you actually get those when they come out. Now, if you've been here for a while, double check you're subscribed, because there's been weird things going on. That's all I'm gonna say about that. We're gonna go ahead and get into these ear pros right now. All right, let's get into these Axil ear pros. We've got the Tracker over ears and the GS Extreme inner ear, which is where a lot of companies are going because it's just so comfortable to wear inner ear, but there are, pretty decent differences between the two depending on what you're gonna use it for. Let's go ahead and knock out the over ears first. So these are the Trackers, and we'll talk about what these things have. I'm actually gonna take off my little cover here. I wear these covers on pretty much everything. If you've never had to put on or take these things off, it's pretty easy. Stretch your ear pro out like that and rip them off. Just hold it down with firm pressure. You're not gonna break them, take that off. I love these flatline covers because they protect your ear pro and basically keep this thing from kind of rotting out on there due to all the sweat. So pretty standard looking over ear protection. You'll see their logo on there, and then it's kind of got those nice little kind of arrow designs, much like the Walker's razors. They're pretty similar. Moving down into the ear pro section, we're gonna have our standard kind of cup design, that composite material in there. That's there for a reason. That's what seals around your ears, so you get that maximum noise reduction rating. And then it's a nice kind of felt padded material in there should your ear be making contact with it. It's not a rough or kind of abrasive material that's gonna be messing with your ear. You've got a 3.5 millimeter jack if you want to plug something in. These are the Bluetooth version. So for both of these, they've got versions up and down depending on your budget. I do have a link down below that I think gives you like 50% off these things or something for a short time. So you might want to check that out. I'll leave that link down below, and it does help the channel. So these ones are Bluetooth. This is your on-off switch right here. And then you have your background noise that you can either crank up or crank down. The great thing about the electronic stuff is you can hear what's going on around you, and it blocks out the loud noises that are gonna hurt your ears. So as you can see on both muffs here, we have our adjustments. So if you've got one of those pet boys heads, big headed person out there, these are gonna fit you. Pretty standard battery compartment right here, pops off. I'm still rocking the batteries that came with it, and I've been wearing these for a couple months now. Then you have your omnidirectional mics right there on both sides. Very comfortable, very easy to use, and they are pretty compact. So let's compare these to, say, the 3Ms. So you can see kind of a size difference right there. You know, the way they puff, the way the 3Ms puffs out like that on the side. Get these out so you can see them a little closer next to each other. And you'll kind of see very, very similar in that overall size between like the 3M Pelters and the Axils. Bring in my Impact Sports here, kind of do the same thing. So you can kind of see the size is very, very similar to some of the more popular ones out there on the market, to give you guys a really good idea of how these work. So the battery life on them, it's totally dependent on how long you have them on, what the volume you're at. All that stuff is going to be totally dependent. Just keep a couple of extra batteries out there on the range with you. Now the GX Extremes here, awesome. Let's talk about what these come with. And I think if you use that link down below, you not only get the 50% off, but I think you get the carrying case too. So you're going to get obviously your ear pro. You're going to get a little capture device for the back side so you can tighten these up so they're not loose flopping around. Your charging cord right there. Then you're going to get a couple of different sets of inserts, these silicone ones, which lower the decibel, or excuse me, lower the noise reduction rating. So they're not as good as the foamies. So you want to pick the foam ones if you're out there using these for construction, leaf blowing, out on the range, because these give you the maximum noise reduction rating. And then you do have a little kind of clamp in there if you want to clip these onto your shirt, say you're working out there doing good things. So that is what comes in the package. And let's talk about how these bad boys right here actually work. Let's go from the end that sticks into your body on out. So very modern over the ear style kind of design here. It's not like the AirPods where it just goes in. The AirPods that go in like that, I've tried to use them before and they always end up falling out of my ear when I start running around. The good thing about these with that foam on there, you're getting that 29, I think it was, noise reduction rating. But this wire here, you actually form that over your ear once you get them inserted and you are going to be good to go. They're going to be stable. And the kind of tag end goes around the backside. You don't want this hanging around in front of you because then it's going to get caught on something and they're going to get pulled out of your ear. You'll notice you have two control modules here. So the one right here, this is going to be your Bluetooth and your volume. These work as a Bluetooth for your phone, speakers. If you want to listen to music while you're doing whatever, while you're out there working in loud noises, you can do that with these. This is your background, hearing right here. So you turn this on. That's your passive hearing for when you're out on the range or you're on a construction site. You don't want to hear the loud noises, but you need to hear people talking to you. Both have volume controls and you set them to the level that is comfortable for you and that is of course safe for you to use out there, because the whole point of these is to not blow your ears out. One body, take care of it, right? Talking about the protection that these both give you, the noise reduction rating is a formula and we need to understand that because it's not a given. The way the formula works, it's kind of weird. It's almost a little deceptive, but that's how the medical profession does it. And we definitely need to talk about that because some people just take that NRR rating up front for what it is. So let's go ahead and talk about that noise reduction rating. If there's any standout features on these, anything that you need to watch out for, and maybe which one is going to work best for you depending on your circumstance. All right, now that you have a good idea of what those look like, let's talk about kind of how they fit. And let's talk about first that noise reduction rating formula. So when you see something that has an NRR of like, just say 30, let's use a nice even number. That's not actually like a reduction in decibels. That's just the noise reduction rating. So there's a formula for this and it's actually like this. You take whatever that noise reduction rating is, say 30 minus 7, and then divide it by 2. That's your actual decibel reduction rating. So in the case of 30, it would be 23 divided by 2 is gonna get you right in the range of like, what, 11 and a half. That's your actual decibel rating. I hope I did the math right because I am not refilming this. Now I've been wearing these pretty much nonstop over the past couple of months, testing them out, both the inner ear and over ear. So let's talk about some of the advantages and disadvantages. So like I said up close, that clasp right there to control the amount of wire you have left over is to make sure that they're not just loose behind you. You want that section behind you like that. So since I got a spinny chair, I can spin around and show you, but what this gives you the ability to do is kind of pull your ear up, get that inserted deep into your ear with that foam insert to get the maximum noise reduction rating. And then you just kind of clamp down like this, and that's gonna keep that in your ear far better than just something that's hanging on a wire, because it actually forms around the backside of your earlobe and it's good. Now, the best benefit of something like this, besides the fact that it's Bluetooth and you can use it for your phone, you can use it for in the gym working out on the range, out on work, listen to music, still hear people around you, is when you go to shoulder something like a big old, setup like that, you're not having to worry about that ear pro hit the side of your buttstock or anything like that, and you can just very comfortably get in a low prone position or anything else. For my construction workers and people out there that have to wear helmets, things like that, very slim, very sleek, and it's very easy to use. All right, so let's ditch those and let's get into the over ear protection style. So a little bit different, and the volume might go up because my ears are about to be covered, but think about having these on. Now, if you have a hat and you don't have a helmet, or if you're a cool guy and you have a helmet that has the little attachments that you pull down, it's gonna be a little bit different for you. But having these over your ear like this gives you great protection. Okay, but what it does interfere with is stuff like this. You're gonna hit your head on the side of that right there, which can cause some issues out there. Or if you're a person that has to wear, say, a construction helmet or a safety helmet or anything else, those may not be the best option for you. They still have the great options of being Bluetooth. You can plug a 3.5mm jack in there. You've got the ability to kill the loud noise, but still hear people around you talk. They're great. It all really just depends on what you're gonna use them for. Construction workers, people just out in a loud environment, concert workers, security guards, those are a great choice for that. And then of course, if you want that just ultimate slim package, those GS Extreme ones are just solid as well. Now, determining if one kind of stands out for the other, that's really gonna be up to you. So the decibel reduction or noise rating reduction is actually higher on the inner ear ones, but that comes with a little bit of a caveat. As you move around, as you start to sweat, these can shift around in your ear, and you will need to readjust those, and you need to ensure that they are far enough pressed into your ear to actually give you that noise reduction rating that you are looking for to stay safe out there in those loud environments. Because anything I think above like 83 or 85 decibels or something like that is actually considered not hearing safe, or could cause damage, I guess I should say that way. But these things absolutely just stand out because they're so slick, they're so slim, and they're multi-purpose. You can get away with one of these instead of having earbuds or AirPods for the gym, and then a separate set for the range or a separate set for work. And you can use these all in one. So they can be for work, they can be for home, they can be for the gym, because you can listen to your music and you don't have to walk around like you're in, say, the 1980s wearing something over your head like that. So the GS Extreme ones, or the several other models they have that are a little bit more budget friendly, or the crazy expensive ones that are like a custom ear fit one, depending on how much you want to spend, they've got an option for all of you. But the inner ear ones just stand out because they're sleek, slim, and they do everything that the over ear ones do. Now, the one pullback to having those inner ear ones, they are rechargeable. So if you forget to recharge them, you're kind of SOL. Whereas the larger ones, carry a set of batteries around with you, replace them, and you're gonna be good to go. Now, if you were interested in the inner ear ones like that, there's actually a link down below that they were cool enough to hand out. It does support the channel a little bit, but they will give you the case, and I think it's something like 50% off a single pair of these for the GS Extreme. I don't know if that's gonna work for the other ones, but you can check that link out down below, because that's a pretty substantial discount. I think it brings it down from like $259 to somewhere in like the $130 or $150 range, which is pretty solid considering you can use these for pretty much everything you're gonna do out there. All right, so the final thing we're gonna talk about before we get out of here for the day, and you need to pay attention to this, doubling up ear pro. Does it work? Does it make a difference? Yes, but there's a caveat. It does not make the difference that a lot of people think. So if you take foamies and put them in your ear and then put your over ear protection over it, it does not give you those two combined. The attenuation that you're going to be able to receive is not that combined. It just doesn't work that way, because your hearing is not only based on an audible signal, but vibrations and all kinds of other weird stuff that someone who may be a doctor or somebody who works on ear, whatever you call those people, could probably comment on below. But that attenuation is basically bringing that down to a safe level. Adding the foamies under a over ear set gives you something like 5 more decibels. So definitely a difference, but there are other things that you need to take into account depending on your environment. And if you're wearing those for long periods of time, say in a mine shaft for like 8 to 10 hours a day. Now I know that was a lot, but like I said up front, you've got one body, take care of it. If you are interested in any of that stuff you saw here today, I will leave links down below for you guys to check out. Get subbed up, get belled up, double check your notifications are on and that you are subscribed. If you like anything that's going on here, give that video a thumbs up and definitely leave me a comment down below on what you are doing to take care of your ears, because not having hearing is not cool. You guys get out there and have some fun. Remember, if you stay ready, okay? If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. And I will see you guys on the next one.